can go ahead. Being Sunday today, the participants whom we expected in large numbers are not there. So, Vikrant, before I say something, would you like to begin?
Good morning, everyone. No, it's completely okay. We are expecting a few more people to join, but meanwhile, Dr. Abhay, you can start the session.
Tell the context why we are doing this.
So we primarily are planning the ASEAN session for the delegation in the month of February, which is for Vietnam, Philippines, Cambodia, and Indonesia. So the sectors which we are planning to cover with the delegations in the month of February is tourism, healthcare services, education, entertainment services, and engineering and consulting services. So we had primarily asked respective ambassadors of India at respective countries to give us some time on this Sunday. But apparently, because of the prior commitment by them, we were not able to get their confirmation. So I would request Dr. Abhay to kindly take up the session and brief us about what ASEAN is and respective sectors and how the benefits, if the delegation travels to ASEAN, and how the complete partnership brings, a complete, your respective B2B business sessions, and obviously the meetings across all the countries there. So, Dr. Abhay, I would request you to carry on.
Thank you, Vikrant. And the context which has been given is B2B, which SEPC proposes to organize in ASEAN countries. I must begin with on a note that so far, Services Export Promotion Council has not taken any, this kind of multi-sectoral business delegation. There has been some visits to a given country, I think in ASEAN region also, long time back. Few meetings were organized, but they were not exactly in the B2B format. They were more as a participation in some interactions with the embassy or coinciding with some of the exhibitions or some programs of other organizations where certain events were organized. This is one of the major service which a council is supposed to do for its members to bring them in contact with the overseas business prospect. We initiated one delegation for CIS region, and we could note few things. One of them was the kind of participation which is expected was not, was very, not as per what we expected. For any business mission to be very successful, we require a good number of participants from India. Say, for example, if I pick up a sector, say, for example, education. Now, if in a given delegation we take only one institute from education, the interest in the destination country will also be not much. Whatever our embassy would do, whatever our appointed marketing agency will do, there will not be much of interest in the destination country. There will be very, very few companies eager to spare their time, knowing that only one institution from India has come to meet them. And this is a problem in this services sector. And whosoever are present today, I thank them for sparing their time. And definitely that also shows keen interest. So I have a request to them who are participating on this Sunday morning is to talk about it among their network. There will be a lot of competition among ourselves. Say, for example, if 5, 10 15 institutes are going. Likewise, to our operators are going. They will be competing. But you see, their competence will definitely, will be much better for the country. The more in number we go, the more number of business prospects we attract. So I am urging and I'm requesting everyone to participate in a large number from the sectors what has been highlighted by Vikrant, and I can repeat it again. Education primarily being one of the focus area from the point of view that we do require a lot of students to come to India and study. That will give a lot of forex to the country, and that will also be a good image brand building exercise in the long run. There are opportunities for institutions to engage with other, their prospective partners in other countries for short-term courses. There are already for teachers exchange program. There are already talk going on for equivalence of certificates or credits. So those things could be taken up. And these business visits will also explore the possibility of B2B, as we have mentioned. Besides that, B2G and G2G, so that a kind of ecosystem is created for a better business in the future, for more trade facilitation. And that is true for all the sectors like tourism sector, entertainment sector, AVCG, doing quite good for India. And we want that these countries should, outsource their job to India in terms of collaboration. A lot of work Indian companies are doing in the entertainment sector, like VFX, animation. A lot of content are going outside the country, and country is gaining. It is helping the trade balance. So these are the points we need to look into it. And as mentioned, we wanted our embassies to be a part of this discussion today. But unfortunately, and it was all anticipated, because at a very short notice, we requested them. So we will be like maybe next week itself, we'll be having their presence, and we believe like more participation from the industry. And they will be highlighting the potential in each of the countries mentioned, like Philippines, Indonesia. There could be certain areas which might be of greater interest in these countries. So it depends, whatever sector, multi-sectoral delegation we choose. Say, for example, in Philippines, we know that a lot of emphasis will be on, town planning like projects. While in Indonesia, it could be education. In Vietnam also. Again, we are also pushing medical value tourism. Tourism also. There could be some opportunities for medical education tourism. That is another term we are trying to coin. So these are the aspects which will be explored along with some of the chambers, along with our embassies in these countries. And the dates, as has already been announced, there may be slight change depending on the convenience, depending on the suggestion by our embassies. And I must tell everyone once again is that these business delegation becomes effective by huge support from the embassy. So whatever business meetings will be done through the embassies. And they normally like provide their entire support to make these delegations successful in terms of the business meetings. In these countries, SEPC will also be appointing a local marketing agencies. They will be identifying the business prospects based on the profile what you're going to share. So please be careful when you're sharing your profile, what kind of business offers you have. That should be clearly mentioned in your profile with respect to all these countries which has been mentioned. That will help those marketing agencies and the embassy to identify suitable business prospects for business matchmaking or interaction. Every business delegation also, you know, uh, gets an opportunity to meet the local, government. In what way? Say, for example, if you're talking about trade and tourism, they're also like how tourism ministry over there works. There could be a lot of collaboration between G to G that will give you an opportunity to meet the concerned officers over there in case you have got some proposals to bring in more inbound tourists. In case educational institutions are aspiring to open their entity in a destination country, what could be the benefit provided by the government in the destination country? You get an opportunity to meet them. And these are all coordinated through the embassy. So these are the basic points outline I've given. And I'm ready for question because there's nothing much to share today as we are not having the presence of our embassies and chambers concerned. But we'd like to hear from the participants, from my colleague and those who have already undertaken such delegation, have been a part of such delegation with different councils or different organizations. I'm open for questions.
Anybody who want to ask the question to Dr. Sinha may kindly raise his hand.
Abhik Bhattacharjee, please introduce yourself and let me know.
Thank you, Mr. Sinha. I'm Abhik Bhattacharjee, Vice President, RV Associates. We are one of the largest engineering consultants in India. So thank you firstly for the introduction and all the initiatives that SEPC is taking. Now, two things. Firstly, you are planning this visit to Southeast Asia in February. Now, we have received a similar invitation for another delegation visit to Africa. So, it's in the same time. So that becomes a bit of a problem because if we want to attend both, and I look after international business in our company, for future, it would be good if you could phase out these visits between different months. That will be helpful. So that is firstly. Secondly, Indian companies in consulting sector, engineering consulting, infrastructure specifically, have not been very successful in Southeast Asia so far. So just wanted to know, like, while embassy support would be there, would you be arranging meetings with, say, the local stakeholders, like the different Department of Roads, Department of Water, etc., and also some of the local consultants who are working in those regions? Because that will be very helpful if such meetings could be organized. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take up both the questions. And good that you have highlighted these two important points. One is overlapping of the delegation to Africa and ASEAN. Definitely, that has also been one of my concerns. And I also wanted to address it. And I'm actually going to address it. I'll be speaking to my colleagues who have planned. Because initially, actually, what has happened, like the approval from the ministry on NAI proposals came quite late. And now these proposals, these events have to be done in this financial year. But of course, we can always try not make them an overlap. So that will be definitely taken care. Idea was that if we have large number of participation for some for some firms, ASEAN market would be more attractive than African, depending on the sector. But sectors like which you mentioned, consulting, in infrastructure, I think both the markets are equally important. And definitely we'll take care of it. Because of the time constraint and other things, we'll chalk out a program. So this will be addressed, and I'm asking Vikrant and my other colleagues in the office to look into it. That is one. Second point is very important, and I think partly I addressed this in my opening remarks, that your business meeting will not only be organized through the embassy, will be also having the services of local marketing agencies. Of course, they are chosen in close coordination with the embassy. those who have been doing these kind of interaction, have been doing these kind of interaction for other councils, they will be roped in to provide such effective B2B meetings. They will be identifying the prospects based on your profile, what you're going to share. At the same time, you mentioned a very important point, and that gives me an opportunity to request everyone else, and more so to my colleagues, when they are asking for the profile of any prospective Indian participants to join the delegation, they must also ensure to know from each and every participants that what kind of government meeting, to which departments they would like to meet. So that will be incorporated. Otherwise, we go ahead with the profile, and accordingly, embassy coordinates with the various government departments. So what you have mentioned will definitely be taken care. And those meetings, the government meetings, are organized uh, solely through the Embassy of India in these countries. So we'll be taking care of your request over there. I hope that's okay, Mr. Abhishek. Abhi,
Thank you.
thanks. Anyone else? Yeah, Vaibhav, I expected. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. Vaibhav, you are unmuted. Kindly come forward and ask your question, please.
Now, is this okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate SEPC on the day today and the fantastic efforts you guys have been putting.
today is our establishment day, but because being Sunday, we could not organize.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
We requested all our participants to join us on this day and be a part of few initiatives. We'll be announcing some of the initiatives in due course of time. Yeah, please.
yeah. But our experience of putting in delegation in ASEAN last month was very positive, and they have been actually looking at services sector to come to the ASEAN countries, and I'm sure the members who have been participating in today's webinar should definitely look at large numbers to participate in these regions, because there's a lot of positive energy for India in these regions, and I'm sure services is the future of India, and with your leadership and all the members who have those experiences of global exports will definitely benefit out of it. And we request everybody to participate in larger numbers and make the delegation a huge success. All congratulations to you.
Thank you, Weber. In fact, I know that you have been a part of other councils also, and being a part of the delegation. And not only that, you were also a part of the delegation to Myanmar long time back, when I was representing a different council, and you came on behalf of SEPC, and it was in Myanmar, but it was not a B2B kind. Or B2B was done by us during that time, but some of the hospitals were there, and healthcare was one of the important agenda. So, and during that time only we realized that SEPC actually has not undertaken delegation like the other councils have been doing for their members. And that has created a bit of, and I don't blame members, I blame us, that we have not been able to talk about it to the members. And they actually, that's why we are not having large number of participation from our members, because they have never been made aware of these opportunities. So today, I think, we have initiated this interaction, although the numbers are limited right now in terms of the participation today. But definitely, like when we repeat this interaction with our ambassador's presence this coming week or in next 10 days, within 10 days, we need to have at least 100 participants. And we need to make them aware about one of this very important service which a council is supposed to do, and Council expects that members to participate in large numbers. Except this ACPC, every council has been doing 4 or 5 business delegations, and not only council, CIFIC, name any chamber, they are also doing. And in our case, in council's case, there is a support from the embassy, there is support from the Ministry of Commerce under MAI scheme, where anyone having, for MSME basically, for small scale companies, anyone who would like to explore the market access potential, who would like to explore the business opportunity, their cost of travel is subsidized depending on the certain guidelines that their turnover should be less than 50 crore in the last financial year. So that is a huge benefit. And I wonder, because this is the sector which is sunrise sector, the country is looking towards services sector exports in a big way. Of course, we have been only talking about ACIS and related schemes, but there are so many other schemes available to provide you, to bring to you opportunities in the global market. Please make them, please avail those opportunities under the platform of council, this council. Yeah. I would request anyone else if they have any question. Yeah, Vivekbrata Mukherjee, please.
Mr. Vivek, please ask your question. Mr. Vivekbrata Mukherjee, you are unmuted. Kindly ask the question.
Yeah.
Not clear.
Can you hear me now?
Now
Yes.
it's okay.
Yeah. See, I have a small proprietorship firm in the accounting area, basically cost accounting side. I am willing to undertake the travel and all that, but since see, budget is always a concern for a smaller firms. So how do I know that how many appointments there is a possibility of getting? I'm not talking about the conversion rate or conversion ratio. That is totally dependent on me. Say, suppose I visit a Asian country and I find there are not many appointments for me, then it is a difficult financial decision will not be good for me. So is there any possibility of knowing that there is a, yeah, I'm getting, say, going to say Cambodia, I'm getting 5 appointments at least. So I may not be able to convert anything. So that is fine, but at least I have to meet 5-10 people, otherwise it will not be worth traveling. So that is my question.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And it's a good, I actually appreciate this question because this is always a primary concern of any business delegate, that how many meetings will there be. Conversion, of course, as you have mentioned it, and I appreciate your acceptance and this fact that conversion depends on the competence level, on the kind of services what you are going to offer, and lot many other factors. But I must guarantee something, that when we are requesting for the participation, the profiles needs to be shared well in advance. And as I began, we will be appointing the local marketing agencies. They will be having your profile. And for everyone, I must mention here that these marketing agencies don't provide the services free of cost. They provide the services at a cost. So when there is a cost involved, there will be a delivery ensured in terms of the business meeting. And as I began, their interest also lies that in a given sector, there should be at least 5 to 10 companies representing, because that also makes their job easier to bring a large number of prospective business partners. And as you have mentioned, at least 5 meetings, I'm saying we are definitely going to ensure at least 10 meetings in a day. So that is the commitment we asked to the marketing agency. And we have been doing it earlier. Vaibhav is aware, as he has been associated with a lot of joint delegation. I have been taking care of delegation in my previous assignment with Farmexcel. So we used to do a large number of delegations. We used to get about 80, business visitor during a day. So companies, say for example, if there are 40 companies, each company would be getting more than 15 meetings in a day. Likewise, here also we are trying the same thing. We'll ensure that you get more than 10 meetings, but 10 definitely. The only
Okay.
ask I'm having is that from your sector, there should be also at least 5 to 10 companies present in the delegation. That helps.
Okay, thank you, sir. And this local agencies whom you are talking about, will it be an additional cost to us, or that
No,
will
no,
be?
no, 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 no. There is no additional cost.
Okay, okay.
Whatever costs we have worked out, and the government support, there is no additional cost. This is our organizational cost, which ACPC would be taking care.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for asking this question. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah, Pavitra, please go ahead. Pavitra, please unmute yourself and introduce and go ahead. Ask a question.
Mr. Pavitra, please come forward and ask your question.
We are not able to hear you, Pavitra.
Mr. Pavitra, if you are not able to, your mic is having some problem, you can type also in the question box.
Meanwhile, anyone else? I believe ARNAB NAYEK also wanted to ask something. He also raised his hand earlier. Yeah, ARNAB, please.
Yeah. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Arnab Nayak. Actually, I'm representing Travelers Paradise LLP from Kolkata. Basically, I'm the director of this company. So first of all, really, it's a great, what do you call it, initiative from the SEPC's part. And since I'm very new to this organization, basically, so obviously it is I'm really fascinated about this kind of initiative is being taken place, and we are a very young organization basically. Although I represent actually the financial industry for last 20 years, but now this is the new initiative where, again, we have taken during the COVID period since last 2 years. So now we are focusing on the inbound tourism very very much. So now in this area, the difficulties we are facing here is basically, for example, to promote that India as a destination in the Southeast Asian countries, particularly, as well as in Europe as well. We are using our own network, that is fine. But at the same time, what kind of strategies we can take, right? To partner the people from the tourism sector of those countries, right? So that they can because for us it is becoming very difficult to identify those people who are actually the genuinity is a question. There are different issues which is basically for us which I'm finding quite difficult. Our team is finding difficult. So is there any like kind of what kind of strategies we can take so that you can help us in that developing that that these are the people, if you can if we can tie up with them or getting an authentic list, right? Those who are so that we can share our products with them, and if they can send their basically people from that country to visit India, and accordingly we basically promote our destination. So in these areas, particularly in the Southeast Asia, so I'm very keen to focus. So how SEPC can help us in these formalizing these strategies will be my question to you basically.
Thank you, Arno. I understood very well your question. And you see, that is why we exist. We are here to handhold you for these market access. And I will take up, the whatever you have asked. I'll try to break up into small, points and try to answer. And one is the challenge of identifying the business prospect. So this delegation, and not only this delegation, there are many more opportunities which are there, and I'll talk about that also. But right now, on this particular delegation, these delegations will actually help you to find out the business prospects through your business profile, what your organization does and what you aim for. You're aiming for inbound tourism. You want people to come to India from Southeast Asian countries. So we would be putting you in touch with those local agencies who are into outbound tourism, and more so if they can promote India as a tourism destination, except for Philippines. The other countries, what has been mentioned, like say, for example, Cambodia and Vietnam to a larger extent, they might be interested in places in India where Buddha's, significance is attached. So likewise, I'm just giving one example. There could be many more such highlights in whatever package you have to offer in coordination with the local business partners identified for you. Our job is to identify as many business partners possible, even if they are not presently doing business with India, they might be doing business with other countries. So if they were, say, for example, if some of them might be sending their tourists to some other countries, why not if they divert them to India based on your offer? So we will be identifying those agencies, those local, organizations who are into these kind of outbound tourism. At the same time, if you require some support from the embassy, they will be also giving. In fact, now every embassy is also, have been given, and I must mention too, for the information of everyone, there is 3 T's, 3T I'm saying, and I'm saying with complete responsibility after having heard our honorable ministers talking. Our embassies have been tasked with 3 KRAs, just as you all have KRAs in your organization. It is technology, trade, and tourism. So idea is to talk about technology transfer or whatever, trade. Every embassy, of course, they all have, they have a presence to develop the bilateral trade. So trade becomes important. The third aspect, which was not there as part of the KRA, but now have been there, is tourism. So every embassy's primary KRA is also to develop tourism between India and the country where they are stationed. So, they will be playing a larger role, a greater role in identifying business prospects for you or for companies like you, who are there to attract the inbound tourism. Okay. This is one. Okay. Now, second, again, in the line of, how you keep on overcoming the challenges of doing business with a given country. We are coming up with an event called Global Exhibition of Services. Earlier also have been done, but now there has been some specific focus. We are also planning to organize one RBSM, Reverse Bioseller Meet, a kind of exhibition in India called Atithi for travel and tourism sector specifically. But now we are going to co-locate this with GS with a greater emphasis on the inbound tourism. Now there also, we will be bringing quite a large number of business prospects, the agencies who would be interested in sending their tourists to India. So they will be meeting companies like yours. So we would be rolling out those details in next few weeks only. It will be held in Pragati Maidan, and we are targeting more than 100 such business prospects relating to the travel and tourism industry. Likewise for other sectors as well. So there will be an opportunity at a very, very low cost. Your cost of participation in the GS as an exhibitor or to have meetings, but the cost of the travel of the foreign participants will be partially covered by the Ministry of Commerce. So, at a very low cost, we'll be bringing a large number of such business prospects for Indian service providers.
Oh.
Is that fine?
Yeah, fantastic, sir. Thank you so much. Because since it's a very new initiative from our side, also we started in 2020-21, basically during the COVID period. Although I was from different industry for last 20 years, so now we are actually these travel industries. It's for me, it's not that structured, which I feel at this point of time.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you.
So so we are finding a lot of challenges personally to getting into a more structured, because I'm coming from a very structured atmosphere. So basically here you're facing, and the biggest challenge is identifying these kind of people who are, or the connections abroad who are authentic and whom we can, because a lot of trust involved into it, because we are trying to serve the clients in a much more better way. And is there any sir, is there any kind of list available for these kind of suppliers abroad, or the tourists, I mean basically the government bodies whom we can connect basically for any requirement? For example, to be very specific, say for example, we want to say require a supplier list for Vietnam or say Philippines or something, and we want to connect them. So as a member, if we can get a list of those validated suppliers who are there, and we can connect with them for a mutual trade, basically sending our customers over there or their customers over here, this kind of if those kind of lists are available, then it will be a great help, so that we know that okay, these are the people whom we can trust in this business in that way.
No, it's a very good question you have asked again, and I can tell you something. And partly the answer also lies in what you mentioned, that highly unorganized. So this aspect is not only associated with the industry over here, with the way our database compilation happens. There also it is highly unorganized. We have already requested our embassies to share the such list. I don't know whether it will be segregated in such a good way, but at least whatever we are going to get from the embassy will be circulating. We will not make any commitment whether those data will be old or new, or how much effective they will be. But given a chance that you will be participating in the business delegation, or at the same time, we are going to call the people by having the services of local marketing agencies, not only for this proposed business delegation, but also for our GAS or Atithi-like initiative. So there also, so the process to compile such database is integrated. We are just going to, these series of initiative are a kind of connecting dots, not only in terms of exploring the business prospect, but also in our initiative, in our exercise to build our database. And once the process is on, whatever, even in piecemeal, whatever data we come across, we are definitely going to share with our members, and it will be shared with you as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It's a great
Thank
support
you.
from you and your team. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Pavitra, you can ask your question.
Yeah, Mr. Pavitra has typed his question, sir, in the question box.
Okay,
Uh,
let me read it out. I didn't read.
yes, sir.
Okay, his question is how we are going to organize the air ticket. Okay. The last part of the question, where will be these meetings arranged in Indian consulate or in the respective offices? Depends on the venue, depends on the size of the business delegation. I must mention that normally how it happens, we go for a venue like five-star hotel. There we get a very decent conference hall, some kind of interaction, 30 minutes or 40 minutes of interaction happens with the ambassador inaugurating and talking about the business potential. Some of the local government support, leaders also, government officers, not leaders, government officers. Say, for example, if it is relating to, if we are having the delegation, having large number of institutions or other services, professional services being there as a part of the delegation, accordingly, depending on the requirement, we'll be having the presence of the government officers from the local government. They will also be addressing, they will be talking about these ventures, jointly collaboration and all those things. And after 45 minutes or 1 hour of such interaction, the focused pre-scheduled B2B meetings happens throughout the day. With regards to accommodation, and then the next day can be a follow-up meeting. The next day can also be G2G meeting or B2G meeting. In case any one of you would like to meet the local government officers relating to your sector, those meetings are prefixed and that can be organized and that will be organized. Regarding the accommodation and airfare, normally like council's job is to provide business opportunity. So we basically try to focus on organizing meetings and organizing, of course, conference hall and other things are a part of that so that you have a decent meeting place as well. But regarding your own accommodation and travel, we will be providing you the itinerary. We'll leave it up to you where you would like to stay. We can give certain offers depending on the travel agencies providing us those offers. But regarding airport transfer, hotel transfer, if everybody stays, then the council organizes that. The airport transfers council organizes. The transfers from, if there is a meeting place in some chamber and we are all residing in the same place, then the transfer to that venue of meeting can also be organized. However, we are also exploring with different travel agencies if they can provide us a good package for the benefits of the member. The payment has to be done directly to the agency or to the hotel, because the more we get into that, it becomes, a bit of organizational hazard. Like there may be a lot of expectation, and council as such is not expected to do that. But anyway, those will be looking into it. If more and more members demand that ACPC should organize the accommodation also, we'll try to do. But there has always been a case of making a minimum commitment to the hotel. So if the council enters into a minimum commitment of say 30 rooms and multiply it with 3, say 90 room nights, then the onus lies on the council. If we have members dropping in at the last moment, the cost implication comes on the council. So that's why council normally doesn't get into those direct booking of accommodation and travel. We are there to provide the logistic support, visa facilitation, and all those things. And more predominantly, the meetings for which we are meant to lend our services. Is that fine, Mr. Pavitra? Anyone else?
Sir, there was a question from Dr. Rakesh Rajpal of Ganga Group of Institution. He wrote that looking forward for the educational tie-up for schools and higher education.
That will be also provided. That will also be provided. Like those tie-up opportunities, we'll be exploring that. And that's why I'm making this request that in the profile, the format, which I don't know whether it has been shared or not, but I'll again revisit that. And please mention what services you are there to offer and what expectation you have. If you spell it out very clearly, our job becomes very easy to identify and coordinate successfully for such meetings and opportunities. If there are no questions, we can conclude. Vaibhav, anything? Last word?
No, I'm very thankful to SEPC for providing all the exposure to the members, and we look forward to the great delegation. And I'm sure as members, we will get more businesses in the region, and the regions are absolutely looking at the services sector from India to come and collaborate and partner in the region. And we look forward to the delegation and make some good business. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I would request the participants to talk about it among their network, and let's make this business visit as successful as possible. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thanks to
Thank
all
you.
my
Thank you so much.
colleagues
Thanks. Bye-bye.
and participants to have spared time on this Sunday morning. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.